We sure are.
These are minutes.
I thought we'd get a lot of people tonight since we were discussing this. So riveting.
Hot topic.
Usually when we talk about our own,
I swear there was. Wasn't there somebody that was asking me about this? Go ahead and get started. I'm going to call to order this regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting for August 12th. If you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you'd bow your head in a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening thanking you for this much needed rain. We thank you for bringing us together here tonight, and we ask that you be with us as we go about the business of the township. We ask that you would help us to keep an open mind and thoughtful of our residents. And please return us home safely. In your son's name we pray. Amen. Yeah. All right, everybody had a chance to look at the agenda. Any questions, comments, concerns, motions?
Motion to accept the agenda as written.
Right.
Support.
We have a motion, we have a support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. How about the minutes from the last meeting? It was June 10th. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything we need to change? I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the June 10th meeting as written. Any support?
Support.
All right. We have a motion, we have support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, there. Public comment. I think we're good there. Is there any pending business? Anything that we haven't addressed from previous?
No.
All right. The only new business is the zoning ordinance discussion. And as you guys were aware, Ed had asked us to read through or familiarize ourselves with the Chapter 3 general provisions. I don't think that we need to go through every item on here. It's more of I printed them off. I don't know if you guys did or not, but basically I would like to just say, we'll go page by page if that's all right. And if there's anything on first page that you guys think that we need to address, we can bring up that section to Ed. He can write notes down and then we can present it to a subcommittee for changes if we feel that they're necessary. Was there anything on page 1 that stood out?
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
If there were on a page, can Ed point out something that has maybe been an issue or a problem since we've changed it last time? If it comes to mind, just to help. Thank you.
Ed, can you send me the link to the PDF? I thought I had it in my email, like the photo or something.
There's no text.
There's what?
There's no text.
Right. I thought I had it from before, before tonight. I can't find it. Yeah.
Go to our website.
Yeah, I'm out there.
Go to planning, zoning, enforcement.
Okay.
Go to general ordinance, and in there, zoning ordinance.
So, there we go. Thank you.
Chapter 3. All right. So anything on the first page here?
I had 2 notes.
Sure.
The first was, and I'm new to this, so I'm sorry if this is like too nitpicky or you guys all know this and I don't, but the word lot and parcel was used a lot, either separately or together, and that there was a definition of lot in the definition section, and I just wonder if it would be helpful to include also a definition of parcel so people understood the nuances between the two. And then the second thing was, and this came out of one of the ZBA meetings that we had recently where the applicant was saying that there wasn't a very clear definition of agricultural buildings. And so I was thinking that it might be helpful to have like a good definition of like what an agricultural building is. Does it include just commercial, or is it also personal use, or residential use? I don't know what the right words are, but those were the two that I had on this page.
What is I believe generally when we have something like that, we refer people to the generally accepted agricultural practices, correct? Yeah. So maybe we just need to reference that, if that's, because I think that's how it is, right? For a bona fide farm in the state of Michigan.
Is that we please? Accessory structures used for 100% agricultural purposes.
Okay. Agricultural, right?
Can't store your start
Section 304, front yard building setbacks, C, ordinary high water marks, that's set by the county.
I think so. I think this is the Drain Commission,
Okay.
because I think ours is 851.
Okay.
It's in chapter 2 what they were. I had a note in there to see if those were still accurate or if they had changed since the ordinances were enacted.
Ours will stay the same because we have the outlet. The other lakes, I don't know. Yeah, we could do that. Or do we have a standard for how long the data is before it's renewed type thing?
Yeah.
Didn't print chapter 2. Shame on me.
Well, that was one of the things that I have on here too, is if we reference a different section, we need to cite it. So I think it would be easier for any of these pieces that say, other provisions of the zoning ordinance, because most people are going to do what we're doing. Hey, Ed, hey, Ed, hey, Ed. And if we can get those cited in here, like chapter 4, paragraph 2 or whatever, then it would probably cut down a lot of the confusion.
And for the online version, we could hyperlink them too. Would be ideal.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Love it.
Now you're thinking. All right. Does that cover the first 1, 2, 3, 4 sections? Anybody have any else for the first 4 sections? We'll go to the next page. Anything for section 5?
Nope.
How about section 6? Section 7. Anything for section 8? Section 9. Section 10.
Section 10, I just had a note about commercial farming, and it kind of goes to the next page too. It just, again, it goes back, and this goes back to, and Ed, which particular case I'm talking about, but like the interchangeability of the word farm, commercial agricultural operations, commercial farming, farm operations. I think just clarifying throughout, like, are those all used interchangeably? And how people's personal farms kind of fit into that as well, because a lot of people have chickens and like hobby farming essentially.
Which I know we've got some verbiage in the definition of what Cannon Township acknowledges as a farm, but I don't remember if it was 40 acres or 10 acres or whatever it was. But I know there's some definitions, but maybe we could look into the terms better.
The terms, and maybe they're just being used interchangeably, and I think that's fine. It's just clarifying that.
All right. Anything else for section 10? How about section 11? Section 12.
And this one, we're really trying to get a full square feet across. Also, in the scripts and stuff.
Which one are you talking about? 3. Oh, it's the next section. All right.
Yeah, I just had a note in there, like why specifically rural residential wasn't called out in the chart. Is there?
Lot sizes can be, everything's over 2 acres, right? Yeah.
So there's no There's no.
I don't know if there's any are less than 2 acres, right?
And I does it just calls out all of the specific zoning districts. It doesn't have RR listed.
I'm sorry, what?
With the above it in I.
No, I know it does, and so my question was like, why wouldn't there be a J or I don't know I3 that says in rural residential XYZ, or there is no limit in X in.
Just the maximum amount of
20%, I think it is.
But I see your point. You're wondering why we just don't have a
We
section.
just put it in there. Because I think I asked that question when we were talking about the dressage barn, and you gave me that answer. But maybe just for ease sake, to reduce questions, just add it as a row in there
In the table?
in the table. Yeah, that's all I'm saying is like add it in the table.
If you edit the table, I guess my point is if you edit the table, then we have to call it out in section I2 to say that we're
Right.
including that
Yes.
district as well.
How often are we getting these requests for needing a bidder for at least for lakeside residential or
And one, so basically, one thing to change ordinance, we haven't got.
Randy's.
besides Randy's? Okay.
Randy's was the only one that I can think of. It was over 1,200 square feet. It was, yeah, but
Section B on this one, why do we have the rule that it has to be not closer than 10 feet to the main building? Why do we have to discriminate on that one?
All sorts of
Fire safety.
so it doesn't jump.
Thank you.
With our side yard setbacks too. And again, similar to the others, that would include the overhead.
All right. Anything else for section 3.13?
Section G, this might be in the definition since I didn't read chapter 2, but what defines an unimproved lot?
Something that's not destroyed.
Vacant. Didn't mow it.
And we have a lot of accessory structures. Lots of families, it's over 5 acres. And if existence at fire, 2,000.
Through 2 or 3, something like that. Yeah,
Jennifer's 20 acre.
could be. Anything else from 3.13? All right, 3.14. 3.15. 3.16. 3.17.
Okay, any questions?
I have one on 3.17 as well.
3.17. All right. Go ahead, Rita. Start us off.
My only note here was I know that the city of Rockford recently integrated some rules and guidelines around garage sales and like ongoing garage sales. I didn't know if this was an opportunity to potentially clarify, because I know, because I've been to them, there are some in Cannon Township where it's like it's just people buying Amazon those big bins and just like all the time. So I don't know
Perpetual
if we
garage
wanted
sale.
to like a perpetual garage sale essentially.
That could be, I'm told not to enforce now because they're not, they succeed. Not to come in, so, it's not just, so that would put the rate on just be like.
Okay.
So that would be against the ordinance.
So I just didn't know if, in general, I think they made some specific rules around numbers of days and things like that. Was unclear if that was a concern here that could be added in. Okay.
Bringing in goods for sale. Yeah.
And Rockford's making it where everyone has to get a permit now to do a garage sale.
They're what?
You have to get a permit now to do a garage sale. Doesn't cost money, but
They want to know.
yeah. That
Good.
sounds like a hard thing to enforce and not fun for paperwork.
Terry, you had something?
The only thing I was going to say on 3.17 is should we finally accept people that work from home when they're running their business, so there's no confusion.
Which number?
It's not a true home occupation. A lot of people are working for their employer around their house.
I mean, if you think that we need to list it, I think this is more of a owner operated style business, right? So maybe we need to clarify.
So it's not really the same.
Right. So maybe we should clarify, but I
There
don't-
is a definition of home occupation in chapter 2 on page 2-9.
so we should reference maybe
So you could reference that, say like reference
chapter 2, the definition.
section 2.07 gives a definition of what it is.
What else did you have, Ed?
I was using it possibly on the small sign. The right house sign is pretty cool. But the typical garage sign size is other property described by is there any
Do you mean for permanent businesses?
if you're running a home occupation, let's say you're putting your own garage.
Yeah.
Some people call them a dog salon or something like that. Or detailing business. You want to keep
Well,
it small.
yeah.
It's kind of allowed right now, but if you want business, they keep it up. That's what I'm saying.
When I read that, it surprised me a little bit because I know sometimes hanging your shingle out in the country for various occupations is helpful.
And we allow, if you need a roof right now, we allow you to put a sign in your property that proves that we did that, things like that. So I think the one that's small individual sign fits to the house itself is kind of or something.
As long as we have like good limits on size.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not,
think professional because I think if it's going to be permanent, like you're saying, on the house and not something just like we got for sale sign. But what having on the house can be hard if your house is not close to the road.
Or has
That's true.
How many people have asked for one?
They come forward, you know.
I would still say though, I think Peter, if I'm thinking about that, and you're in the cul-de-sac and a neighbor has a big, sign that's
Monument sign or whatever.
driveway or whatever. For
Yeah.
I think that could be disruptive in a neighborhood.
I mean, I know we're thinking about it more like neighborhood, but when we think more rural, like, so my house is 800 feet off the driveway. Not that I want a sign, but if I did, it'd be nowhere close to the house, right? And so I think being able to say, like, yes, you can have a sign not attached to the house, maybe that is or is not lighted, right? Because it's probably lighting's another concern. If we get like lighted, not lighted size specifications, I don't think we can say we're doing that.
I think it'd have to be good strict rules on that.
Or you could designate, like, if, to your point about how far it is off the road, you could designate if your house is so close to the road, it needs to be attached to the house. If it's X number of feet off the road, you can have it at the end of the driveway or something like that.
Yeah, we'll get Ed out there with a tape measure.
And
When
He's in the zone.
He's out measuring docks. He can measure signs.
I was actually going to ask you because I saw earlier about non-conforming homes or like living in temporary structures. If you've seen any more of that, like with barns or travel trailers, or nobody lived in barns. You travel trailers. Every house we get a different thing on. Just the proof. Something proof. Just have to get home property. Give some proof on. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Other than the referencing the definitions and possibly signs, anything else for 3.17? Let's go to 3.18. 3.19. 3.2. I have something for section A. I think we need to reference if there is quantities. Are there quantities listed anywhere? And yeah,
And we were doing this. So the one I'm like, it's 30 cents.
they just haven't done it yet. Okay.
Because
All right.
there's management account. Right? Yeah.
I would think that we have a zoning ordinance, but I think you have to call county to have it enforced.
Oh, the general ordinance addresses $3.
Okay. So could we reference the general ordinance then for?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying 3.2. I didn't know whether you wanted to specifically reference chickens.
We,
We have something.
Covered in it.
It's covered in like the actual chapter for each district, right?
we really address chicken.
Right, but that's where it's found is in like the actual chapter for.
No, chicken. But it has
Okay. So the chickens. I remember we did the chickens. You can have 2.3 chickens. So two chickens and an egg. Anything else for 3.2? 3.21. Are you having any issues with 3.21? A lot of them?
2 hours. So 3 such reason. Given the 1 2 hours, we expect how long the require
Where are you seeing it? Are you on 3.2 too?
3.2.
I don't have an A.
48
Where does it
hours.
say? Oh, the 48 hours. I thought you said 2 hours.
No, 2, no. 3.2 recreational, water media now, but support most of the water people over recreational beer water street down by one place in the township. For a period of 1 to 2 hours.
I don't have that.
I don't.
We don't have that. It's now it's like
it says,
on mine.
here it says, and to use the same as a dwelling.
You have an updated version.
I'm using the general version, so the general is the general version. That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that.
So you don't have some.
I'll print it off.
I printed.
All right.
All right, so it's a 2 hour.
I would be okay with getting rid of the 2 hours because it's I mean that's just silly. I mean who's going to start a clock?
What I think as I recall, we addressed that early on. What the purpose of it was people down at Lake Kitson and around the lake. that were
blocking the
trying to-
roads.
trying to load their RV or whatever their camping. That was.
But they would leave it for a day or so.
And so it was like it made sense to put a 2-hour limit or something like for loading or unloading. That was the rationale. I'm not saying we keep it, but
But that would become a Kent County Sheriff's thing because they're in the road. You got to call them, don't you? But they're going to call you first, though.
It's interesting that there's a lot of rules we have around lake usage, but not all the township is lakes.
they're the one that need the most attention.
Divas. So I guess put that on there, at least something for us to review. I mean, if you're getting a ton of calls about that, we could talk that over. I think we should.
Are most of the calls coming from the lake area or is it mountain stuff?
Yeah, is there Bella Vista for enforcing things? Is it you or is there HOA? Or is it both or is it a hybrid? Because I feel like there's always a communication error when I talk to people. Okay.
I don't know if they notice if they have something. There's specific.
Mm-hmm. And how often is it when people like, I know when they email me and ask questions and I connect them with you, how many people are actually like making a report? Or is it just like, oh, thanks for letting me know?
So you're much more, especially for a legal thing.
Okay.
If they sense that they need to
Okay.
explain if they want enforcement.
Okay.
Three 3.22. Three 3.23. 3.24. Ed's favorite, 3.25. So give us some recommendations. I mean, what would you like to change? What do you think, or what would you like us to discuss that gives you a hard time all the time? We can't drain the lake.
So it temporarily addressing the accessory structures, and the side yards are 50 feet where's down.
So the only other real main thing is the general ordinance with the docks, right?
And that's
Right. Because the general tells you how many you can have and the distance, but the zoning tells you where you're supposed to aim it, correct? Is that the big difference between them? Because I didn't see anything about how many you could have in here. It just talks about you have to aim it, has to be 7 feet off lot line. You have to aim it towards the middle of the lake or whatever the set point was.
So that's always not good. You know, the money that's being cool. All of them are for 6 to 7.
Yeah, we can't enforce unless we actually get a surveyor out there.
Well, we do. Brian and Newhoff put the whole
Well,
points.
but we can't say like, oh, you're 2 degrees off, move it.
Oh,
Right. We can't go out there and enforce that.
Gotcha.
The only other thing that I was going to recommend, but there's still going to be issues with this, where we could consider changing the wording and having it be where no matter where your dock is on your property line, your boat lifts have to go to the center of your property.
I like that because so many people,
They put them on the outside.
yeah.
And that's usually what you're getting a lot of complaints of. Well, he put his boat lift on my side and I'm looking at his boat lift. I don't want to look at it. I don't know if that's going to create problems elsewhere though, but it's something we could discuss. I think we should put this one on the list for discussion.
Is it worth putting something on in here about line of sight? I know ordinances don't talk about your view of the lake, but is that something we want to consider? Since we keep monkeying with the side yard and how close you can build, is there something we should, or is that just too hard to
I think
enforce?
it's a dangerous slope.
Yeah, if you block somebody else's lines, I don't know how you would enforce it or make a ruling on it though. But I agree. I understand it. 'Cause
Yeah.
we see it all the time, but I don't know how you could say,
That's not the real
Right.
right.
You have a problem.
Somebody hit, if somebody's blocking your view of the double decker pontoon, hey, you gotta go talk to your neighbor.
I love that boat.
So, was there any item in here specifically that you want to highlight? All right, so we could just. Well, I gotta assume this is a major section that you get the most complaints on, or one of them, right?
Recently this year.
So we should look at maybe distances of docks and or location that these things get put. So this will make it to the subcommittee then.
And can you share with us like a report of all the things that you had issues with too?
It's really popular. It's neighbors and small ones.
Moving in the center of the lake, Florida.
Yeah, but if my eyesight's crooked, that's the problem is enforcing it. All right. Anything else for that 3.25? So we'll go to 3.26.
Just a quick question. Were we looking for a recommendation or something to reduce lot size?
To 4 dogs to 1.
It's something that comes up. We've had that come up a few times in the past year or two, but I think those parcels have been absorbed. Not all of them, but some of the one that we dealt with a year ago, the people that live next door actually bought that parcel. So that way it eliminated that problem. But I think you have to have a minimum of 20 feet in width, correct? No, to put a dock in. I think you have to have a minimum of 70 for a new lot.
Yeah.
And then 20 to actually put a dock in. Right.
So if someone puts a dock on a lot smaller than 40 feet, they're technically not allowed to, or 20 feet.
Smaller than 20 feet. And even then, I think the big thing that maybe we need to highlight in this section, or for the dock section, would be also like, hey, these are temporary structures that come in and out of here. There's no grandfathering of anything because they're temporary structures. Right.
But how much of that though do we have to make sure is aligned or with the general ordinance that's there? I want to make sure we're not creating any conflicting.
I think that
there.
I think part of what we review, we could also make a recommendation to the board, like you guys need to look at your general ordinance regarding this because this is creating a problem. I know with like the docks, it's the number of boat lifts that are allowed on each parcel creates a lot of the problems from the zoning ordinance because it's where people, well, I've got 4 lifts. I can only put 2 on this side. I have to put 2 over here. You don't have to. It's just what you're doing. But
Is there an ordinance that we could come up with where we could incentivize people to share docks? Like me and my neighbors share. I don't know if there's a way to incent.
That
But
you
these
can do it.
I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it. It's just, there's no incentive to it other than saves you and your neighbor from individually paying somebody to put it in or buying another dock. But we get a tax credit.
That's what yeah. You get 3% off.
All right. So 3.26, was there anything? $3.27, 3.28. Can we change, or can we look at 3.28 for lakes residential? Like, I think one of the coolest things about the lakes is people that have flagpoles down near the water. I don't know why. I just think it's cool because I know some people like to put them at the end of their. Right.
But it limits it to one. And if you're thinking someone would have it in their front yard or the backyard,
Well, lakefront would be front yard.
Side front.
Lakeside front yard. Like I'd like to at least consider that. Because I mean, I know a lot of people want to do it, or they're like, I want to put one on my dock, but technically you're not allowed to. But 3.29. Is this ever an issue?
No, the next two are, and then I was gonna talk to.
That's what I have a note in here for is solar.
Do we have to though? Isn't it already allowed by at the state level?
So really, it's small areas. We should do.
Okay.
So that would be section 3.
It would be a new section because there wasn't anything in here about solar.
Oh, because this is wind energy. All right. 3.30. So nothing on 29 or 30. What about 3.31? 3.32. You get any complaints on that?
I mean, I can call them.
Do you even have a way to track the 4-year requirement?
4, 3.32.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was 3.3.
I would like to shorten up that period for that one.
Which one?
The trash, litter, and junk. Because isn't it like a 30-day?
Well, we have 48, I think.
48 hours for people to trash receptacle.
Right, but I'm like the people that and I understand everyone's on their own journey, but that have a lot of clutter in their front yards or backyards, and it kind of is a nuisance. Is there any way we can tighten up on that a little bit more? If the committee feels like that might be a good idea.
So, because I see 30
But what happens when they're not addressing it? Because I know there's been repeat offenders, and it seems like,
they'll clean up.
yeah, and it seems like,
That's a court thing, though, right? We can't really do anything about the severity of the punishment.
You're right up in the problem is how they get property and why they not be in. How that is going to be addressed, which is how they say it must become when they receive property and that's the so it's a thing there. So I'll bring something up. I see progress.
They're called lawn ornaments. It's not junk.
right, and everyone's got a different opinion. When I think of coming into Cannon Township, it used to be super pristine, especially at all where our signs are located. And I don't feel like we have that same level of Dick Davies level of clean. Yes. Thank you. I'm just answering to the people.
Would it be helpful to have a stronger definition of what junk is? To your point about it being, you're saying it seems like it's a little bit subjective. The definition of what junk is and maybe how much of it is. Is there some way to create more of a definition? I don't know.
A stronger definition.
A stronger definition of it.
We could ask, see if there's a better definition out there or pieces that we could add to it. All right, 3.33, Ben.
I just, for the enforcement portion of it, it says it shall be pumped every 4 years. I'm assuming that there's that really help, but areas where you've got anybody on a calendar or a timer to go and validate it.
Actually, this is something I'll post today. It said to be required, it's about 1998, so I think close.
You're not going to find anything.
No, I, especially in 1998, I that was part of the time. Look at it, let's not.
So this is one where maybe we should look at this to remove some of the verbiage out of it, because how do you enforce that?
Yeah, if we can't enforce it, we shouldn't have it.
We can leave it. It's not going to.
I didn't know it was involved in it. They should have. You won't want to know.
I mean, I do like the one in there, something about the purpose of preservation of ground surface water and promotion of public health and welfare. Like, it seems pretty basic, but we should do that so we can't just wait that we help the violation. I don't know anything about it.
I guess it would really come down to section C, though. Do we start doing it like you have to show a certificate of inspection every so many years?
I'm trying to think, would we be doing that? Would we be doing that for like a shared septic on a development? Like, is that what we would be? I'm just trying to think.
I think we're getting into weeds.
Right. I mean, it's different if it's a development that has a shared septic, whereas 10 homes don't into it or something. That might be a different scenario. So,
Yep. 3.34.
The only note I had that's kind of tangentially related to this is there was discussion a few months ago about like Airbnb and short-term rentals, which could potentially tie into like accessory dwelling units. It kind of doesn't fall under here, but reading this made me think about it. So I wasn't sure if that was like still a subcommittee that was working through investigating that, or if that's something that potentially would want to be added into this. Anywhere in here. It might not be chapter 3 specifically, but
But it sounds good on PC. Yes. Especially right now.
Mother-in-law suites. Is that the only areas that you're seeing them? Well, I understand that, but do people come to you and say, hey, I live... Right.
Because we have someone.
Right. That's why I was wondering, does it make sense in other zoning districts, or would you prefer not to even look at that?
So just look at my lot size and not my district.
But I think we should.
Two. Right. So we should look at this.
So 2.5 for both.
For any.
For any. Yeah.
Well, and I think we're going to hear more of it down the road because Grand Rapids is trying to change it where you can have these accessory dwelling units on everyone's property. They're trying to reduce it
They're trying to increase.
to help with the housing shortage and saying this is a short-term solution. So I feel like if Grand Rapids is doing it, it's going to
We get a lot of
come out to our way.
So we should make that a priority to talk about that then, for sure. Any other ones for 3.34?
And then, well, I guess it talks about, we should set equal sizes instead of 1,500 square feet. The older 35%. We should just.
I'd be fine with that. So discuss the size and the lot size. Yeah. Okay.
What makes you say that?
It's hard to be able to enforce the calculations, though. I mean,
The one that go back, it's easier to say what's next, but they have plans right across the board.
you can build up to 1,500 square feet or whatever it may be, and that's it. So your building plans better accommodate for that or less. Makes it easier to police too.
Is the idea though that you want to keep it smaller than the size of? I think the purpose of having that would be that you would not want an accessory dwelling unit that was roughly the same size. So if you lived in what you're saying is if you lived in a 1,500 square foot house, then you could build a 1,500 square foot accessory dwelling unit. And would you want that?
But if you live in a 5,000 square foot house,
You would still only be able to do 1,500.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that limitation, like I like the percentage, and for someone who has a pole barn that isn't living structure but could be, I'm thinking like that seems like a restriction for some that may be not needed. I don't know.
Well, we could limit the living space. We could have a definition for living space so it doesn't affect the pole barn space.
Like garage or
Right. Because I think that you're
like condominium on property.
because some people are gonna want to use the living space.
Because I think I've seen things where okay, now if it's like a 2-bedroom with a living room that's modest but it's $1,750, is that really outside the bounds? Right?
Is it too much? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's worth discussing. Absolutely. 3.35. So that concludes that. So now we need to set up a subcommittee because we've lost people that were on that subcommittee. So now, I don't know who all you'd probably pull 2 or 3 people from this board, 1 from the ZBA, and yourself. Or how many do you want on this subcommittee? Or do you want the entire panel here?
Which is fine.
Right. We would, if anybody out there is listening, come join us.
So we can keep that issue and just start anytime.
30 minutes every meeting. I actually like that idea because I would prefer to get everybody's opinion on something. So, okay. Was there anything else from that section that you wanted to discuss?
I have a couple updates.
Go for it.
Our recommendations for Rockford self-storage passed last night. So that one's behind us. No more reading on that. And then Bella Woods development plan, their conditional rezoning passed as well, 6-1. I was the only one who voted like we recommended. A lot of things changed since we had it over here. There's now going to be a trail 8 foot wide, which will be nice. Everything's going to be on sewer. They're going to redo the sewer line, but not at the developer's cost. Is that correct? It's township tax dollars that will be replacing that. So I think it will be a nice development, 68 homes. Would have probably liked it to come back to us, but yeah, it's come back to us, but it should have come back to us with
Only
the changes,
site
I
plan?
think, but it is what it is.
Just site plan.
The site plan, yeah. So
But it shouldn't really be much different than what they presented to the board, correct?
No, it's called 3 or 4 months water.
a lot of our boxes that we wanted were checked. So
That's good.
that is great. And yeah, so I'll keep you guys in the loop, but it should be coming. Ed will let us know when it's on the agenda.
So they're this year. Was there much public comment last night?
This was a couple meetings ago, but yes, there was I think there was probably 5 or 6 people that spoke. Does that sound right, Ed? You reviewed the notes. The main thing is traffic. People worried about traffic. I think we all are concerned about traffic. I don't know if there's anything else that we can do with our relationship with MDOT to help alleviate traffic. The board that's been doing it for a long time says that there is not much besides having more car crashes, which we don't want that either. So,
I saw something about a roundabout at 10 Mile and Myers Lake, right?
Yep.
Made me think, are they considering roundabouts in other locations too?
well, and I would
Well, that would be Kent County versus this being a state.
Business that I don't-
Yeah.
And I was reading something in Kent County, but they still don't even have and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Ed, but they don't have a great budget either. Right now, we're just in repair mode versus replace. And so many layers to the onion.
You got any comments? Yes, we do. Yeah. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.